This simple technique might just be the catapult of progress that you need. Listen on.
Welcome to the Awesome Human Podcast, your path to total human optimization. Ready to unleash your 100%? Let's go.
Welcome back to the Awesome Human Podcast with me, Ben Coomber. Now, I've got a frame for you today. And that frame is how much progress are you getting in an area of your life that you're trying to get progress in. Now, we're all trying to develop at something at any given time. Some of us are doing it on multiple different levels. And the reason I bring this up is I get a lot of questions on social media around the books that I recommend, the podcasts that I recommend, the YouTube videos I recommend. And I quite often say to people, hey, what are you trying to achieve? Where are you going? And how quickly do you want to get there? Because we can all read books. I read books. I read a lot of books. On average, like one a fortnight. I love it. I find it calming. I love the acquisition of knowledge. I find it very cathartic. I think it's great. I think everyone should read. I also do it more than audiobooks because it makes me present with the information. It makes me work through the information and it makes me study the information more rather than it just going into my brain. Hopefully I retain it and then it's gone. So I like the studying process of reading a book. It also slows me down physically and mentally, and I find that's a good thing for my character type. But there are also some books that are very good on audiobook and appropriate for audiobook. So I do think it's important to identify how you should learn a particular topic, because I don't think everything is geared to audio well these days. And I know audio is a very big thing because people are learning on the move, driving, walking, etc. So when you buy a book, the acquisition of knowledge will be quite slow, right? And then depending on where you're at, it will have a certain effect on your life. Now, depending how open you are to information and opinion will also depend on how much that book physically, mentally, emotionally impacts you. So I used to read a lot of books with a high level of ego. And what that did is it actually made me not take in some of the information because I felt I'd already completed it. I remember reading books on leadership and I was like, yeah, I do that. Yeah, I do that. But when I actually looked at the evidence in my life as a leader, both in my business, to my family, I was like, I'm actually not living up to this. And it wasn't until I really broke apart my ego in my spiritual journey that actually I started to see that I was bullshitting myself all the time. And the problem with a book is it doesn't often hold the right kind of mirror up to you with what you're trying to develop. The same with a video. But a video can be better because you're being challenged by an individual. If you're watching me on YouTube right now with this podcast, like I'm staring at you in the face, which holds a different level of confrontation to it. So actually it starts to take a different energy and a different frame. So it can increase the level of change because of the medium. And then there's coaching. And what I want to get at today, and this is a very short and simple podcast, is if you really want to improve something in your life and you want to do it quickly, get a coach. Too many people are struggling with stuff for too long. And many of you in that position do or can make the money available for a coach. Another great example of how people don't act on this soon enough is with like pain. I've spoken to so many people over the years. They're like, Ben, like, what should I do? Like, I've got a sore knee or whatever. I'm like, dude, go see a physio. Oh, but money. Oh, but I'm like, piss off. You can find £40. Most people can. Like, even if you don't go out the weekend, like, you should be moving yourself away from pain. And the reason I bring this up is how quickly do you want to make progress in your life? Now, please know there is no pitch at the end of this podcast. I'm not going to be saying, let me coach you. Please know that I simply want you to achieve the progress that you want for yourself. So if you're struggling with your fitness, if you're struggling with your nutrition, if you're struggling with your health, if you're struggling with money, if you're struggling with life, if you're struggling with your relationship, if you're struggling with parenting, can you get a coach? Because you can go and read a book and that will be beneficial. I've read many books that have made me cleverer on many different topics. So I'm not saying don't read books, but we've got to think about our speed of execution. We've also got to think about the type of problem. There's many areas of my life where I've only really made proper progress because I've been coached. The individual has been able to look me in the eye and challenge me properly. They've been able to ask very poignant questions to say, Ben, tell me about this. Tell me about that. Describe that to me. And hopefully if you find a good coach, they're able to challenge you in a way that you genuinely grow from, because the mirror that they've held up to you is one where you're able to realize, yeah, I didn't see that. I'm not being truthful to myself, or I didn't realize, or I didn't have awareness about that. And that's a big part of the spiritual journey that I spoke about, is bringing awareness to all aspects of your condition as a human, the consciousness that you have, so you can start to develop. Because what I'm now finding in my life is I am developing in so many areas of my life so quickly because my awareness has dramatically increased. I'm now aware so much more of myself, of humanity, of people, of energy, of why things happen. And that's been incredible. But a big part of this development has come from coaching. I've worked with Britta, I've worked with many people. And right now I'm thinking, and I have been for a couple of weeks, and I've now taken action on it. I've been thinking, how quick do I want to row this boat of life? How much do I want to improve the trajectory of my business, the trajectory of my fitness, the enrichment of my relationships with my, family and partner? Actually, I want that quite quickly. So the next question is, what am I willing to do to get there? And yes, I'm willing to read books and watch videos, but actually I'm willing to commit the money to get there. So I've just gone out and I've hired myself 3 different coaches in 3 different areas of my life, because I want the results quicker. I've seen the benefits. Now, I'm not saying you have to do the same. That might be quite a lot, might be too much financially, whatever. But if you're still struggling with something, whether it's fitness, whether it's nutrition, whether it's money, whether it's life, whether it's relationships, I would encourage you to go and find a great coach. And even if you find a bad coach, it will allow you to see what a good coach should be. I went for a walk with someone the other day and we were talking about therapy, and he was sort of telling me about his journey with therapy, and he's like, yeah, I've probably had 5 or 6 therapists. And I was like, oh, how come? And he was like, it just took me a while to really find someone that I just kind of gelled with. They could really help me. They could challenge me. And I just turned around to him and I said, mate, congratulations and well done for sticking with it. Because so many people would have gone, oh, therapy's not for me after the first couple of sessions. And actually, it's not therapy that's broken. It's maybe just the relationship you had with the therapist. I've had coaches before in the world of rugby that really got the best out of me as a player, and then the total opposite. Why? Maybe it was their energy, maybe it was their demeanor, maybe it was their skill, loads of different things, right? So please don't be disheartened. It's just another directional input to allow you to say, okay, this coach didn't work out. Where do I want to be? What type of coach do I want? And it might be a simple difference between gender. I actually quite like female coaches because I find they challenge me in a different way. They see things differently. They almost see the BS of masculinity that we can kind of paper over things with in a different light. And I find that actually quite exciting. So please read books. Please watch videos. Please develop in these areas with these tools, but please get the coach. Because sometimes you're just not going to make the breakthroughs that you want to make. And sometimes to really reach the heights of something, you want to be working with people that have been doing this stuff for 10 years. because that's going to be where real progress is. Look at an athlete. That's how I'm now viewing myself as a human. I am an athlete of life. Who are going to be the coaches that are going to help build me to where I want to be? And I want you to think the same. So whether it's career, whether it's money, whether it's fitness, whether it's nutrition, whatever it is, if you want to make real significant progress, get a coach, get the insight. But please know, you might have a few failures, you might find a bad coach, like blah, 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 blah. Of course, do the work to get a good referral. Do your research on these coaches. And I always find there's a real intuitive part of this as well. Like if you're watching a coach's content online, because many coaches do put out content online, and logically you're like, yeah, I like this person, they sound clever, but I'm not sure I vibe with this person. Like if I sat down and had to talk to this person for an hour, would I enjoy it? I don't think I would. So just that kind of energetic rapport, that link is really important, because that's going to allow you to open up quicker. You're going to trust them more. And if your energies align, you're just going to get the best out of each other, or they're going to get the best out of you. So I know this was a really simple podcast today, but I just think it's really important. I think we can hold ourselves back by just not committing a little bit more to it. And the thing is, as we now live in the information age, we're very used to listening to a podcast, listening to an audio book, like watching documentaries and stuff. And sometimes we just overlook the experts. There's people out there that could absolutely 10x your progress in life if you would just commit a little bit of money and really commit to yourself as well, because this is the most important investment you're going to make. It's in yourself. And some people even have a budget for this in their life. Like they commit like 5% of their income, for example, to like investing in themselves. And you might do this with your income. If you were to look at your income, where does it go? Okay, there's bills, there's whatever. And then it's like, right, here's my free money. Let's just say it's £400 a month, for example. How do I want to spend it? Well, I'll spend a third on adventures, a third on self-development, and a third on material things. I don't know. But at least with you doing that, you're committing to yourself. You're committing to the journey. And I flipping guarantee you, you will not regret any of it. Whoever regrets really deep down in developing themselves as a human means you can live life in a richer way, can have better relationships, better experience, and you can just live life better. You can do life better. And that's what I want for you. That is the way of the awesome human. If you've enjoyed this, please share. If you've never read the book, grab it on Amazon or Audible. Otherwise, I'm done. See you next week. Bye.